What's up, family? Welcome to another great episode of Let's Talk Local. Listen, if you like what you see here today, make sure you go to that old Google box, YouTube 216 Creator Studios. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell for future notifications. That way you don't miss an episode like Libby's episode today. Deke's behind the booth today with Nico. Deke, how you doing, man?
Good. Great day. Great time to be local.
That sounds weird, but okay, great. We've been doing this for a while now, and it's exploding.
Yeah.
People are reaching out. I think we're booking out for the year at this point. Listen, if you guys are out there and it's local to where you're at. So if you want to reach out, we can remote in. We can do anything. Tell us your story. Who's in your neighborhood, right? And before we start this episode, we got to get paid.
That's right. So, hey, shout out to our good friends and their, sponsorship of this show over at Salon Cora. Looking for a salon that feels like family? At Salon Cora, you're not just another appointment. You're part of our community. From nails to pedicures, expert haircuts to vibrant hair color, we offer top-notch services with a personal touch. Our talented team is dedicated to make you look and feel your best, all in a warm, welcoming atmosphere where you are treated like one of our own. Whether you're stopping by for a quick mani or a full hair transformation, exceptional care is always guaranteed. Ready to experience the Salon Cora difference? Give us a call at 815-893-4340 or email saloncora@gmail.com to book your appointment today. Salon Cora, where family, beauty, and care come together. Book online at saloncora.com. Be sure to let them know you heard it right here on Let's Talk Local.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, once in a while I'll pop in there, can't get the old beard trimmed, and I'm not afraid to say once in a while a pedi.
There you go.
Your feet got to carry you through life, so it's okay for guys to take care of their feet as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's my wife yells at me, go get a damn pedi already.
And Libby, you're part of the salon.
Yeah. Salon Cora is always my go-to for haircuts, hair coloring, eyebrows, all the fun stuff.
A couple weeks ago.
Like last week, maybe?
Last week? Yeah. Denise Kanakal over there. She's just awesome.
Great.
They're all super nice over there. I love going there.
Yeah. It's a good time. Well, anyway, today we are talking with Libby Parkin, about Joyfully Elaine. So, Libby, real quick, why don't you describe to us, this is a little bit of a unique episode, and I'm excited about it because you're doing great things.
Thank you.
Give us a lowdown of the story of how this came to be and the why, why you're doing it.
For sure. So, I worked over at a senior home. I was an activity coordinator down in memory care. I started there when I was 20, and not knowing what I was getting myself into. I'm a very crafty person. So when I saw activities, I was like, oh my goodness, this might be something right up my alley. I worked there, and I met Joyce, and that's where this idea came from, so Joyce was exactly 70 years older than me, and we quickly became best friends, and she would never fail to say, my name is Joyce Elaine, so that's how I got Joyfully Elaine.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. So over time, we just got closer, but just through small interactions, getting to know each other, and here we are today.
Yeah. So this woman became like a mentor.
Oh, yeah.
To you, changed your life.
Completely changed my life.
And you're doing a little bit of a foundation to where you're building and looking to get funding for crafts to go and you're Joyfully Elaine is the foundation, correct?
Yes.
Is that what it is? And so describe what the funding's for.
Okay.
What is it you're looking to do so you can build this?
So all the funding that I'm looking for is to make this an official foundation. Right now I'm in the very early stages of it, and that's why I'm kind of reaching out, asking for help from everyone, so I can get this going and I can share the joy and all the good memories, laughs, smiles. I want to share all of that with others.
And this is doing crafting and different projects for different. Is this a specific group of people that you're going to, or are you just jumping all around different places?
No, so the idea for the foundation is that I would bring in crafts down to memory care, or if someone reached out and said, hey, we need you to maybe come visit my mom. She really loves music. Yeah, something like that. I could go in and just spend some time with them. It doesn't have to be crafts. I know that's not up everyone's alley.
Sure.
But
that's awesome.
So I think a big thing to that everybody should know as well is you've moved on from being a full-time employee at a memory care facility.
Yeah.
And so this is really a passion for you, right? This is really, this is something you're looking to do in your quote unquote spare time or whatever because of what Joyce,
the impact she brought onto my life. Yes, for sure. So I have moved on from that position, but very often I think back and I'm like, I loved it. It was very rewarding to me. I finished every day of work knowing that I did something good, and I enjoyed it. I didn't even look at it as a job. Honestly, I was going to hang out with my grandparents, and it wasn't just Joyce. Joyce made a very big impact on my life, but it wasn't. I only gave attention to Joyce, obviously.
Right.
Like everyone, everyone down there was my grandparent, and I loved coming into work and seeing them all happy to see you. And what are we doing today? Because you know that the enrichment on their life through the activities that you planned, it felt good.
Well, let's talk about Joyce a little bit more. You mentioned to me before about a butterfly story. Can we get that? Maybe a couple stories about Joyce?
For sure. There's a lot of stories. So one we were sitting outside and I forgot a hair tie and it was very hot outside. And she's like, let me.
Ignore that.
We were sitting outside and it was hot outside and I was like, I don't have a hair tie. And she's like, I haven't braided hair in so long, but let me try to braid your hair. So she was sitting out there braiding my hair. She actually did a very good job. And we got to the point where we needed the hair tie. She's like, I need it. I need something to tie it off at the end. And I was like, well, Joyce, this is like what I was trying to avoid. So she goes in her little flower purse and she finds this old rubber band. Just a rubber band.
And
she's
stretch anymore.
No. I thought it was gonna break as soon as she put it on. And then there was a video that actually, and we looked back on it, and there was actually a guy up on the roof in the video, and she saw it, and she laughed so hard. And I was like, Joyce, we didn't even notice this going on. And then the butterfly, there was this massive black butterfly in the garden that she was just admiring. And I think that was what was so special about her, is that it didn't have to be anything grand. It didn't have to be anything super crazy. Just the simple things made her laugh. And she had the most contagious laugh. She had the biggest smile. And I think she's taught me to slow down, appreciate the small things.
She sounds like a wonderful person.
Very wonderful.
In the green room, while we were chatting a little bit, you mentioned that when you started there, you weren't in the best headspace.
No, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Walk us through that. And the reason I want you to walk us through that is because the impact, as you just said, she got you to look at things differently. Now, you're about how old?
22.
Okay. And she was a lot older.
Yeah, so she was born in 1932, and I was born in 2002. So there was quite an age gap, but
Yeah.
85, 86, something.
Yeah.
If I math right, I don't know.
That's a long time. Long time, right?
Yeah.
So for somebody of your age to be open-minded to the lessons that she was teaching without like teaching, right?
Yeah.
Walk me through that, because I find that just fascinating that she had that impact.
Yeah,
on
good
you.
question.
Yeah, I don't think that was her, when she was doing it, I don't think that was her purpose, was to mentor me. She never knew that I was in a bad headspace ever either. But yeah, I was in a very bad time of my life when I started that job. And I went into it not expecting anything, just going to craft, do what I like to do in my free time. And I don't even know. I didn't expect what came from, like, even this right now is unbelievable. I honestly can't believe it, but it's exciting, and I'm hoping that I can keep her legacy going.
At what point did you realize that she's actually making that difference in your life?
Well, one day we were going through her purse. So every day at lunch, she'd want a tea and she'd want 2 sugar packets. But she would always have a bunch of sugar packets in her purse. So I think she would use the ones in her purse, but then the new ones I gave her would go in her purse. But one day we were looking, I was like, Joyce, I think you have like a bunch in your purse. Maybe we could use those today. And I actually found a little old napkin in her purse that said Libby, and it was her spelling it a bunch of times, like trying to get it right. And it said Libby, good friend. And I saw that and I was like, wow. Like, yeah.
Wow. That's huge.
And when I saw that, I kind of stopped and I froze and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, this is real. Like,
yeah. So first of all, you're going to make me cry.
Don't cry.
When somebody writes something down and they measure something, it's important to them.
Yeah.
What she did was I guess before I even say this, did she have Alzheimer's or was she in dementia? Was she having memory problems?
Yes.
A lot of that too is to remember you.
Yeah.
That who you are. And if you
come
back in.
That's the thing, is that seeing that, I was like, wow, that means that she really wanted to remember that.
It meant a lot.
Yeah.
It meant a lot to her. So she brought this joy to you, no pun intended. And so what kind of, other than the things that you did with her in crafting, and or certain other things, are these the things that you want to bring forward with the foundation?
Yes, for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
Tell me some of the projects that you have done with her.
Okay. So we tried to tackle tie-dye. I'm not sure I would be willing to do tie-dye again. But if they really want to do it, I will do it, because it did make them very happy. But it was also, my clothes were also tie-dye. Gotcha. But we did anything from crafts to singing and dancing. I would dance with them. Made me a better dancer, I guess.
They know how to dance.
Yeah, they really do.
No question.
They do.
They cut the rug. They used to say back in the day. So yeah, folks, check it. Real quick, we're gonna go to this QR code right here that you see behind me, and that's gonna bring you to a GoFundMe page. Is that right?
Yeah.
And this is for the funding for building the crafts and everything else.
Getting everything going. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the start of doing something wonderful. Excuse me. If you have a family member in a facility like this, and or don't have the time, I understand that you don't have the time, and or maybe you live far away to where you can't get there all the time. In this area, at least, Libby is the one that is going to be going to these places to assist and being there. Not that everybody can. I know you had a story similar to that, right?
Yeah. dementia and Alzheimer's affects everybody. Everybody's family knows somebody. My grandfather was in a memory care facility, very, very close with my grandfather. And the last time that we visited him, hey, Gramps, love you. Good to see you. And he looked me stone cold in the face. Alice, my wife, and I were there. And he goes, "It was good to meet you."
Mm.
That's hard.
Ouch. Right.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was in my 20s, right? It was a while ago. And, I was in my 20s, late 20s, but, I didn't understand, you hear of people who've got dementia, who've got Alzheimer's, and you're like, oh, well.
But it's another thing to witness it firsthand.
Yeah. And that shook me, right? And it shook me to like, I walked out of there and Alice could tell, like I was like, and because I didn't understand. I'm like, how could you forget?
Right.
I didn't understand the disease. So what you're doing with the foundation is it helps families.
Yes.
It does.
It doesn't help. It does help, Joyce or whoever you're working with, but it really helps families because it allows you to know that your parent, your grandparent, whatever it may be, brother, sister, whatever, isn't forgotten about.
Yeah. That is a peace of mind on both sides, I think. When you go into these homes, everybody hits a certain age where, things just start happening, things wear out, and, you have to go hit these homes. And when you're young and you go into these homes, it's a culture shock. Almost,
yeah,
right?
For sure. At first it was a little intimidating.
Of course.
But they're somebody's mom, dad, grandparent, and to me, I looked at them as my grandparents. They all took interest in what I was doing, what I was going to do after work. And to me, that's what changed a lot for me, is that someone was taking interest in.
Absolutely. And, somebody's there to spend some time with them. The peace of mind to the family being like, oh, Libby's going in there today. Thank God, because, it's going to be connectivity, right? It's connection and building those relationships. And so they get a peace of mind knowing that they're just not sitting in a corner collecting dust. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. It's a good thing of what you're doing.
And, there's a QR code right over Drew's left shoulder there. But the big thing that I want to ask is how did her kids, her family, how did they take it?
Yeah. So she didn't have any children. She had her two nieces, and I met them. I was close with them. I still have their number. Like I still text them sometimes. Wow. And they actually one Easter, I think it was last Easter, she sent me a picture of Joyce with the Easter bunny. And this was after she passed, but it was like, oh my goodness, even after she passed, we're still reaching out, still talking about Joyce. And it's a good feeling to know that even after she passed, that they still see me as someone who made a positive impact on her life, because she made such a big impact on mine that it's nice to know that it was mutual.
Well, she left a legacy, right?
For sure.
The answer to life is how to carry on after you pass, is people remembering you for what you did and trying to carry on that legacy. And that's what you're doing, which is fantastic. Folks, check it out. Give a hand, reach out to that code back there. Donate what you can. Everything is appreciated. So a lot of that, once again, is going towards stuff, exercises, crafts,
supplies. My other hope for it is not just going and doing the crafts, but also just spreading awareness.
Yeah, I like that, spreading awareness. Yeah.
Now, you worked with Joyce for 2-3 years?
Oh, I knew her. I worked with her for 6 months.
6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not a long time to get a lot of impact, but man, wow.
Right. So in 6 months, you affected her life, and she's still affecting yours after just a 6-month relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this foundation is all about, right?
Yeah.
is creating that impact in a family's life, in a person's life, showing them that they matter still. And they're not just, like you said, put on a shelf in a corner.
I mean, even after she passed, I still see her in things in my day-to-day life today. And I think everyone who knows me has heard at least me talk about Joyce at least probably 5 times. But my mom maybe more. But
Well, right. I mean, and too, when I first was talking to you about this, about coming on the show, you said you want to spread awareness, and because there's so many scams out there with GoFundMe and stuff like that, you wanted to be aware that this is not a scam.
Yeah.
The very first thing I did is I donated. I gave you $100.
I appreciate it.
I want to make sure that I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
To someone who my parents are gone, my grandparents are gone, obviously, but if that's like Ken said, that's somebody's mom, that's somebody's grandma, and there you said it as well. You're in there. I would love for somebody, if when I moved out of my house, our home care was at home, right? And so we had to rush back to the house to make sure mom was okay, or even just to spend time with her.
Yeah.
And not every day was a great day, obviously. But at a facility, there's good care 24 hours, and to know that somebody's actually coming in to do more than just the physical care. It's more mental care. It's more passionate care.
Yeah.
And you're like a passionate care specialist. I like that quote. But it's true. And so what you're doing is great. We actually have a couple pictures. Nico, you want to bring up a couple pictures? Excuse me. So describe what's going on here.
So on the left picture, that's me and Joyce after we made a little scrapbooking project. We just cut all those pictures out and then we glued them all onto that frame. She was very proud of that, as you could see in her smile. Like her smile, like come on.
Yeah,
it is
seriously.
the brightest smile. The middle, we were just sitting outside, and I told her that I wanted to get a picture with her. So she's all ready. And then in the right, we're baking. She loved baking. There's actually another story behind that. When we were balling up the cookie dough, she was threatening me. She was trying to throw them. She's like, "Can I throw these at you?" I was like, I'd rather you not throw them at me, but...
You know what I love about that picture? That is a giant whisk.
It is a massive
No, Joyce, you're making cookies for the entire facility. You're in a big bowl and a giant whisk.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. She looks like she's having a blast and everything. Yeah, we got any more pics? Yeah, we have a video. We should bring in a video. We can do that. Oh, perfect. You know what? Go back to that.
So this is the mission statement. It says, Joyfully Elaine brings joy, love, and connection to seniors in memory care through creative activities and meaningful engagement. We're here to reduce isolation, celebrate lives, and share light one moment at a time.
Nice. Where do you see this? I love the mission statement, by the way. It's
Thank you.
Awesome. Where do you see this? How do you want this to be built? Like, where do you see this in the next 5 years?
Well, my hopes for it is I could start off reaching out to local senior homes. I can give them a
Full
little
non-for-profit organization.
Yeah.
That
And then
helps.
that's what your donations will help me with, is kind of establishing this
So it's more than just
officially.
crafts.
Yeah.
Going towards building a foundation.
I'm not doing this to make money. That's
No,
not
no.
not what I want at all. I want to go
You're
and
building a foundation.
yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. Nico, what else you got there? Oh, there we go.
Telling you, behave yourself and be good.
That's what you tell me. Future me will look back on this and will say, this was Joyce. She's telling me to behave. I better behave.
That's me.
I'll have to make a lot of cookies for you, too.
Yeah, because I'm old.
Yeah.
1932.
No, you're still beautiful, though.
1932.
You're still beautiful.
Only because we're friends.
We're friends.
Yes, we're friends to the end.
Friends to the end.
That's it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love you.
No, I love
That's awesome. Wow. That's powerful. You know, you spent how many days a week with her?
I was there 3 days.
Oh, 3 days.
3 days.
And how many hours a day is that?
I think I worked 8 to 4:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So not a long time, but I mean, I'm measuring the impact, right?
Right.
So, you know, 3 days a week, we'll say 4.
But she was always like,
5 hours a
every
day.
time I came back, she was just as excited as she was. And she'd get so upset when I would leave at the end of the day. It was almost like I wanted to move a bed in and stay with her more. I'm like, you're making this harder than, like, I don't want to leave either.
Yeah.
So-
Can't say cut you off. What is it?
No, you know, so she was born in 1932. So I sit here and I just think of with her is everything that she saw. You're taking a video on your phone.
My phone, yeah.
Your pocket computer.
Did she walk you through some of those things like, wow, that, you know, I remember this or I remember that, which made you kind of look at life a little bit different in your conversations?
Yeah, so she would talk about like the wars and stuff.
Wow.
Obviously, she was never in them, but she was impacted by them being in her house. And it's stuff like that they would share stories about what they experienced in their time.
Yeah, so she would have been like 9.
Yep.
Bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Yep.
To give you an idea, right?
Yeah.
So that was 1941.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's just the, you know, that's an era of
Yes.
experience that we're just a bunch of complainers now about
Yeah.
things. But they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
you guys
upset
really-
because of a social media post,
Honestly, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
right? So to me, I you know, was she like the first? Was she familiar with cell phones? I'm trying to figure out as you were doing that. Was she's like, what do you got there? Or and was that some of the aha moments for you as a young adult going, okay, I guess my spot's not so bad. She literally lived in the Depression.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she never blatantly said, like, what is that? She more had fun that there was a goofy picture of us that she would laugh at. And every time, still to this day, like, you probably could see my smile when I was watching that video. I get, like, teary-eyed almost, but I love looking back on all those videos and pictures, and I'm glad that I took them because now today I look back at them and it just unlocks a lot of the memories.
Well, and I think that'll be some of the fun of the foundation, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Joyfully Elaine is her nieces. Now you've memorialized. You won't. I mean, the first thing you forget is somebody's voice. Right?
Yeah, and I don't want to forget her laugh.
And now you've memorialized that. And Joyfully Elaine, this foundation, will be able to bring some of that as well to families.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Which is amazing to me, right? That you're willing to say, hey, I want to build this foundation for this, bring awareness, but I want to be able to build this foundation for families because not only can they get this nice scrapbook, which helps their motor skills, this, that, and the third, but also, man, we've got this awesome video of us laughing and having a good time, and you're welcome to have that. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
You know, you used to say fighting. I watched that video. I don't even know this woman, and I'm like, that was a good one. I mean, I'm a big sensitive guy when it comes to stuff like this. And once again, you know, folks, check that out right there on the QR code. Go check out and donate what you can.
So every
help build the foundation, man. Be part of it.
as cliche as it sounds, every little bit helps. You don't have to send $10,000. You're more than welcome to, and we appreciate it. Right.
Just send 5,000.
Right.
Even 1,000 would be good. No.
You know, but the idea is this isn't going for a new car. This is going for her to, and the foundation, Joyfully Elaine, is.
Well, let's talk about that. You and I are entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
right? What does it take to build the structure for a non-for-profit foundation? It's not an easy task, and you're doing it all by yourself. right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously have good people in your corner to
For
give you
sure.
advice or point you in the right direction to people, which is great. You have great parents. I know your parents, fantastic people. And you were obviously raised right because, what you're doing with the Joyfully Elaine thing. And just even prior to Joyfully Elaine, you getting a job that go and help people from another organization to go there and help seniors. I mean, your heart and your brain are awesome. And listen,
Thank
everybody
you.
hits their dark zones, right? But it always takes that one spark. And it sounds like Joyce was the spark.
For sure. I mean, I think you, sorry for cutting you off.
No, please.
No, I totally believe that everyone is on the earth for a reason.
Sure,
and
purpose.
your purpose, and you will live until your purpose is set or done. And I truly believe that her mission was to change my life and then set me off, and now here we are.
Well, and she might not be here anymore, but she's still here.
She's definitely still
and
here.
You're still carrying on the legend.
After she passed, our song was "Sweet Caroline," because when it would come on, the bum bum bum, I would hit the top of her. Well, not hit her. I would not hit her. I would lightly tap the top of her head. No, I would lightly tap the top of her head to the
fun,
and and she would laugh and the biggest smile. So.
That's awesome.
And so after she passed, I went out to eat, and that song came on, and I would start noticing that song would come on more and more. But even if that song was playing all the time, she changed me because I noticed it.
Yeah.
I'm very hard on myself, and I think the biggest lesson I learned with her was to just slow down. You don't have to be perfect all the time to make others happy, smile. So that was one of the ways she changed my whole mindset. Even today, like my whole mindset, my whole view on life is completely different than when I met her.
Yep. I know Nico here in the producer's booth, he actually Grandpa Hams is a big part of his life. And you do. He's still up and kicking, running a farm. I think, right? Yep. How old is Grandpa Hams?
I believe he just turned 83 end of May, and he still runs a hay farm up in Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah.
So Nico gets out there. He bales hay for him. He does all kinds of things, and what a great guy this guy is. And he's blessed. Nico's blessed to still be able to see him and go to his farm.
That's impressive.
Yes,
I'm actually impressed.
And not everybody has that, right? So you are the Nico of the organization. You go out and you help others that don't have that, and or being able to see their grandkids all the time or their kids all the time. And it's hard, like Ken said, it's hard when the memory's gone and you don't know who you are. I had an aunt that kept calling me Tony, thought it was my dad.
Tony.
Hey Tony, you coming? We're the kids. I'm like, I don't know, I'm one of the kids. I had to walk her backwards a little bit. She'd get angry. She was very Italian. She was angry all the time. But that was the familiar ground that I was happy with, right? As I do this, as I talk now. But, we got to visit, but it was hard. It was hard to go see her. And, I know a lot of people have that where they're like, man, I got a full life and a full day ahead. I go to work and I come home and I'm exhausted. And now I got to go, do that. But, Libby's there, at least giving them a peace of mind. And then on your weekend, you can go see your grandmother or your mother or whatever the case may be. So it's really important what you're doing. Not everybody cares. What about the children? Well, what about, and you get in that middle age, you're like, well, what about me? But nobody ever thinks, what about when you're at that age, having somebody.
I mean, they're the reason why we're all here.
100%. 100%.
And they have a lot of stories.
And the stories are awesome.
I can't tell you any, I would have to really reach far in my brain to remember all the stories. But it's incredible some of the things they've all been through, and it just knowing that, and they're all telling you you're so young. I remember when I was that age, like I wish I was that age now, and they would kind of just try to give you points and tips and just things that they would do. And I think that for me was like, wow.
Yeah, it's awesome.
They've lived
a whole different world then too.
For sure.
Well, that really wouldn't add up in today's society sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But the message is there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh, I should be careful because, right?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love it. I love what you're doing. Do you have anything you want to add?
The biggest thing that I would say, first of all, keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm just in awe of
Thank
who you
you.
are
Thank you.
and what you're doing, because dementia and Alzheimer's is a very uncomfortable spot for those on the outside spot. Yep. Right?
Yeah.
And you're diving in there, and I think it's huge. So keep doing what you're doing. The other thing is, let's challenge. I mean, let's get this foundation to its first $1,000, right? And so you can really start making a difference in these families and people's lives. And again, here's what I want to tell you, folks. This is a young entrepreneur. She doesn't work in this. She works for a city, all right? So she's not in this space all the time. Correct. This is something that is a passion for her. This is one of her purposes in life. And I think it's a great way to do it by setting up a foundation and really going after it. So, my ask for everybody out there listening to the Let's Talk Local and out there is, hit that QR code, and even if it's $5, if it's $500, let's get the foundation to its first $1,000 so she can really start moving and making a difference.
I'll sweeten that pot. For anybody that donates $1,000 to you, 216 Creator Studios will build a full commercial for their organization for any business out there.
Thank you.
For free. Because of it. Yep, 100%.
You're awesome.
Just make sure you mention 216, otherwise we won't know.
Right.
But yeah, Libby will be in touch with us to let us know. We keep doing what you're doing. And I love to circle back with you to see how it's going into the near future, and once again, folks, right here, the old QR, pull out that pocket computer, turn on the phone setting of it, and do the thing that brings you to the page. To do
the thing that brings you to the other place.
Do the thing that does the thing.
Libby will be visiting me soon.
I will be doing crafts with you.
We can do that right now. Right. Thanks for joining us. Let's Talk Local. Very unique episode, Ken.
Yeah, I love it.
It's
Libby,
absolutely fantastic.
I think
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to share anything else out, Nico, before we go?
I have one more video if I can.
All right.
Played.
That'll take us out.
Believe
Everybody where?
In
blue Hawaii.
I love that video.
That's a great video.
Because she notices that I was recording and makes the silly little face.
And she sings with it too.
Yeah.
Very, very open.
Yeah.
Listen, folks, thanks for watching Let's Talk Local and Listen Global. Stay tuned.